but my name is Brian Jennings. I'm the head of Adult Services, New City Library, and today we're going to talk about consumer reports and, yes, how to access that remotely or in the library from newcitylibrary.org, our homepage. We'll talk about searching and browsing, how to find the print edition online. So if you like reading the print edition, but you just want to look at it in an online version, we'll look at that. How to send yourself articles via email, and how to access those important ratings. And as I mentioned earlier, you can add any questions or comments in the chat. Just a little disclaimer, there are certainly other places to look for reviews other than Consumer Reports, but from people coming in and personal experience working at the library, Consumer Reports seems to be one of the most popular places for folks to go to access ratings. So to get started, I'm going to go to newcitylibrary.org. And under eLibrary at newcitylibrary.org, there's a link to databases and research. And that's where I like to say all of the secretly wonderful things that the library offers are located under databases and research. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Again, you can access all of this from home or from in the library. There are a few items that are only available in library. Many of those have been extended for remote access, namely Ancestry Library Edition, at least through the end of this month. But if we scroll down here, or if you're looking at it on a mobile device and you scroll down, the third link here will be Consumer Reports. Now, if we somehow move this in the future, you can always go to Databases A to Z and look under C for Consumer Reports. Another thing that I should mention is this database is available at all public libraries in Rockland County, not just New City Library. But if you have a library card from a library other than New City, you would have to go to their database page and access that link and enter your library card. And that's, you could choose from this list or go to the homepage of your own home library. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and click on this link, log in from outside the library. And because I'm in the library, it recognizes that I'm in the library, so I don't have to enter my library card. But if you're at home, which I imagine most of you are, although someone could be on our public computers here listening to this Zoom, you would have to enter your library card, and then you get access to Consumer Reports. So I'm just going to go ahead and click in. And this is Consumer Reports online. So a lot to see here, but just to get started, what Consumer Reports usually does is they have several articles or ratings up front related to what's currently going on or the season. So because we're coming into summer, they have articles here about how to stay safe during a heat wave, top picks for insect repellents, very important here in Rockland, what to do when it's too hot to sleep, cooking tips for hot weather, safe summer activities for kids. So all very practical things that you may or may not be dealing with at this time. But often, so we can go into one of these, and I'll just look at it. So they have the air conditioning ratings right here, but then they have an article here that you can read. Another thing you might want to do is you can email it to yourself, or if you use any of these different social media links, you can use them. An important thing to look at in Consumer Reports, no matter what you're reading, is the date. So because they have this up front, this is something that they've created recently. The date on it is yesterday. And that's one of the things and one of the reasons that we encourage our patrons, even if they're coming in looking for the print, I always try to direct them and show them this online version, because I think that you'll find the ratings and the information that is on this site can be much more current than the print that you're dealing with. So it gives you the options here: Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, or email. I tested this out last night. I don't often email myself things, but say you wanted to send this to your son or your daughter or your grandson or a friend. You can email it. You can click an email. You can send the link to yourself. You can put your own email in here, and you can send yourself a copy. And even from home, when you send it, you don't need to log in. So that link that they send, even if you're sending it to someone who doesn't have a New City Library card or lives in Florida or Nebraska or Maine or Massachusetts, they won't have to have an account. They'll be able to access it from the link. At least that's the way it worked for me as I tested it out last night and this morning from home. So that's viewing an article. You can always simply hit the Consumer Reports in the top left if you want to get back to the home page. Now, many of you are familiar with the print edition. So if you like the print edition and you want to access that, if you scroll down here, keep scrolling, on the bottom right, you can look at the current issue of Consumer Reports. In fact, this is July, so it's kind of a preview. And you can also look at the archive. So if you're a heavy user of the print Consumer Reports, you probably know that April is the car month. So probably one of the most popular issues that people access here in the library. And you can still come into the library. We have print copies of this, one behind the reference desk and one downstairs in our magazine area. But you can access it's not exactly, it looks, like a kind of a hybrid version, but this is essentially all of the articles that are in the print edition. Let's see. What else? Let's go back home. I think a more common situation, or at least how I use Consumer Reports, and something that I see patrons coming in, is your dishwasher is broken and it's 20 years old. You say to yourself, I need a new dishwasher, but I don't know which one's best. You can look at all the products here on an A to Z list if you want and scroll to it, or you can simply hit the magnifying glass and search, put the first 3 letters in, and it comes up dishwashers. So here you have the very popular ratings, you have the recommended dishwashers, and you have the buying guide. So if you say to yourself, I haven't bought a new dishwasher in 20 years, or I've never bought a new dishwasher, I don't know anything about dishwashers, you can read the buying guide. Again, look at the date, March 22nd, 2021, pretty current, and you can get an idea of what are the different brands, what are the different features you might look for, the look, etc. And it also will give you links, in this case, to dishwashers in different price ranges. What I like to do is, I may read the buying guide, but I like to just look at the recommended ones. I mean, I could see all the ratings if you want, from worst to best. Or I guess here you can just see the recommended ones. I don't know why I would want to look at one that wasn't rated high. Another thing is sometimes you'll see links here to similar models. Looking at this here, I might just choose the top one. Seems to make sense. And even more helpful is it gives you a list of the different places that are selling it and how much they are. So you can even start to kind of price out here. And that's something you're not going to get in the print. If they have a similar model, you could link to the similar model and kind of compare that as well. Again, you may want to simply copy and paste this into your Google browser and take a look around there too. I know sometimes here the librarians, if we're looking at different things, I use this myself when I buy stuff. You can look at the user reviews here, and some people have commented how it's very interesting. Even the most highly rated dishwasher will often have several poor reviews. So it's you got to balance it out. There's a lot of different information online. It's difficult, but you've got your predicted reliability by brand, your owner satisfaction, your user reviews, and your ratings here. And I think I bought probably a similar Bosch dishwasher myself not too long ago. Not that I'm getting paid by Bosch or anything. It's not a endorsement, but just to say that I use this not just as a library staff member, but also as a patron. So what else do we have here? So we've got searching, browsing, ratings, accessing, sending articles home. They also have this thing, issues that matter, which covers a lot of different things that are going on. We've got coronavirus, data privacy, food safety. So they have some information here that could be helpful about contemporary issues. I think I might also just go into a few other things here under my CR. One of the things I looked at is they have this best time to buy, and I thought that was interesting. Uh, certain products, certain times of year, they're indicating they feel are better to buy. Somebody always told me they thought cars were best to buy in February. I don't know if that's true, or maybe it was November. I don't know. But if you're looking for something and you're a smart shopper, you may find this helpful as well. What else do we have here? Can browse some of these different ratings, parts of Consumer Reports. I think we'll do air conditioners. Again, you want to look at the date, May 19th, 2021. Practical things. These are all hyperlinks, how to size a window air conditioner. And then, a link to the buying guide. This is from a year ago, so something to consider. You could look at your recommended air conditioning units as well. You want to see the ratings. I really also like to look at the brands. Owner satisfaction, predicted reliability, being something that's very important. One thing that we have to explain to people is Consumer Reports does not review every single product that's out there or even every category of product. So sometimes there are things that you want to buy, but Consumer Reports hasn't rated it. This, if you're familiar with the print product, and at least half of you said you were, in the old days, if you wanted to see when a product was last reviewed, you had to go to the index in the current issue, and then it would tell you the issue that it was reviewed and the page number. Then you would have to find that issue, find that page, and then look at your ratings. So for use, this is just so much easier to just browse it, your product, or search it here. So anything we can do to help spread the word on this product, that's what we're trying to do here, because I think it's just a really valuable tool. Again, not the only tool that you want to use when you're buying something, but certainly an important one when they've reviewed it. And it also has other little things like these kind of added things, like your best time to buy something, or if you want to see if your car has a recall, another little added incentive. Well, we've got a question. Let's see, we've got another question. I am logged in from home. I do not see the link for emailing the article. Note, I see get access to it all at bottom for advanced access. So one of the things that I don't believe that they allow you, I think there are certain things that they don't want to allow you. So here, best insect repellents, they say you can mail it at this link. I don't think that they offer the same thing for ratings. So if you're trying to email the ratings, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. Now, there's kind of ways you can trick it into doing that. And one of the ways would be to hit print. And if you've been able to do it, you can save. It's kind of, you have to be able to know how to save as a PDF and add that as an option on your browser, which can be a little tricky, but you could do that as a way to save it and then send it as an attachment. So that might be one of the reasons why you don't see it. Another thing that I noticed looking at some articles are sometimes the print option is at the bottom. But it could be that some aspects of the database, they're not offering you an easy option to email it. Now, why they do that, I don't know. I think they probably do that because they're maybe trying to protect some of their content. But usually if you're in a specific article, you might see it at the top, you might see it at the side, or you might see it at the bottom. I live in New York City. Is this available to your library system? That's a good question. I do not know if New York Public Library Access has that. I would say for people who are patrons of New City Library, anybody who works, lives, or goes to school in New York State can get a New York Public Library card. And they do not have it. It doesn't look like. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have Consumer Reports. I think that Consumer Reports is kind of a pricey. It's kind of pricey, and I think that for the size of the population of New York City, it's probably cost prohibitive. So I hope that was helpful. Well, thanks everybody.